decentralization and all those things. But now if you are to get deeper into this space, you notice that the other companies coming into existence whereby they're doing crazy things. Now look at a company like Beamcoin. Yeah. Beamcoin is in Nigeria, but now you see
the biggest cryptocurrency in Nigeria right now, right?
I think so. Yeah. So it's a privacy coin that uses a blockchain known as Mimblewimble protocol. Okay. Yeah, it's basically the Harry Potter spell, Mimblewimble. Then now somebody can close their mouth. So it's privacy, meaning you can't, even if you have to access the blockchain transactions, you can't see exactly who sent what to whom, unless it's an auditor or the government wants to look at that. Right. Are you seeing the privacy aspect behind it? Yeah.
So then now it comes to now you could transact. Like let's say somebody says, can you drop 1,000 bitcoins in my account? Something like that?
No. Okay, the aspect. Okay, let me give you two examples. We have public.
Hello there, this is Business Briefs right here on Metropol TV. My name is Kelvin Nyakundi. Now, Kenya's COVID-19 numbers are still surging days after the government reviewed containment measures. On Sunday, the Ministry of Health announced a positivity rate of 9% after 467 more people tested positive for the virus. The new cases were obtained from a sample size of 5,217. Kenya's caseload now stands at 203,680. Counties with the highest number of new infections include Nairobi, which has 216 cases, Kiambu 49, Mombasa 43, Murang'a 19, and Machakos 17 cases. Kilifi, Nakuru, and Kitui each has 16 new infections. Official data further shows that 195 more patients have recovered from the disease, raising total recoveries to 189,131. At the same time, the Ministry of Health has announced 15 more deaths, pushing cumulative fatalities to 3,946. Currently, 1,475 patients are admitted in various health facilities across the country, with 186 of them fighting for their lives in the intensive care units. And in terms of vaccination, more than 662,000 people have been fully vaccinated. Now, the Chinese mainland reported 98 new COVID-19 cases on Sunday. In its daily briefing, the National Health Commission said out of the new infections, 55 were locally transmitted and 43 imported. No new deaths and suspected cases were reported on Sunday on the mainland. Sunday saw 29 patients discharged from hospital after recovery and 662 close contacts released from medical observation. The number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in China rose to 93,103 by Sunday. Now moving on, more than 1 million learners who sat their 2020 Kenya Certificate of Primary Education exam are joining Form 1 starting today. According to Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha, the 2020 KCPE class will continue the third cohort of students to be admitted to secondary schools under the government's policy of 100% transition. The government is staring at a number of challenges, including infrastructure, limitations with the ever-swelling student population. With the Form 1 going to school, it marks the first time schools have been fully reopened in Kenya since the outbreak of COVID-19 that disrupted the academic calendar. In March last year, the government closed schools across the country for almost 10 months. Parents are also feeling the economic pain as they dig deeper into their pockets to meet school expenses, including school fees. Okay, now ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi has dismissed the approaches being fronted by his competitors in the resuscitation of the economy debate, saying Kenyans do not need theoretical models but tangible solutions. The ANC leader is calling on Kenyans to interrogate all the leaders who have fronted themselves for the country's top seat before making a decision during the next year's polls. Speaking on Sunday, Mudavadi defended his economic revival plan, saying the real issues to be tackled first are the public debt, taxes and revenue collection. On public debt, the former finance minister says rescheduling of some of our debts and negotiating of foreign donors for restructuring of some of the debts will be key.
Kama kuna ufisadi, kumaliza ufisadi ni kuhakikisha unamcha Mungu na unatenda ya haki, na kama kuna mfisadi anapelekwa mahakamani. Hakuna model nyingine, ama nyinyi mnajua model nyingine ya kumaliza ufisadi? It is that. So let us not talk about models. Let us be practical and say how can we solve our problem.
The Kenya Association of Manufacturers is calling for the immediate suspension of the tax provisions in the Finance Act of 2021. KAM says the provisions were not subject to public participation before being introduced. According to the association, this move has denied affected taxpayers an opportunity to interrogate the impact of tax measures on their cost of living and doing business. The manufacturers' umbrella body argues that these new additions have dealt a significantly negative blow to the gains foreseen by many businesses in the bill and have a far-reaching impact on key sectors of the industry. The lobby group has signaled out excise tax, which the government slapped on a variety of raw materials, effectively increasing the cost of manufacturing and final consumer prices. Now, the government is seeking to scale up pyrethrum acreage to 10,000 from the current 2,000 through private-public partnerships. At the same time, 40 million shillings has been released for the purchase of seedlings for farmers in 18 counties with high potential for pyrethrum. According to Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Munya, the move seeks to ramp up pyrethrum production in the country, driven by the growing demand for the crop globally. The money will be disbursed to the counties immediately, and the seedlings will be sourced from available certified nurseries in the country in a move aimed at spurring production. During a consultative meeting with farmers in Molo and Kuresoi, the CS said researchers at the Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Organization are in the process of developing high-yielding and disease-resistant seedlings to be disbursed to farmers by April next year.
Wamekuja hapa as a demonstration of confidence that we can revive pyrethrum. Si kweli? Kuna any crop hapa Kenya ambayo unalipwa 200 shillings per kilo. Is there any crop of that nature? So we are getting 200, 250. Na tukiendelea hivi, mambo itaenda juu.
MD na chairman, hiyo mambo mnasema 2,000 acres, hiyo ni mchezo. By next year to target at least 10,000 acres. Next year, by April, 10,000 acres. Ile jambo lingine tumefanya muhimu kwa hii sekta ni kuhakikisha pia kuna private players. Hao wanaitwa Kentangira na wengine. Hatutaki sekta isimamue na kampuni moja, tunataka tuwe na competition. Ile ilikosa wakati ule hakukuwa na competition. Hii kampuni ikakuwa na monopoly, ikaporwa ikaisha. Sivyo ndio ilifanyika? Hatutaki kurudi hapo.
Now, the government of Zimbabwe has increased civil servants' salaries by between 45 to 50% as it fulfills a promise to stagger the wage increment for employees. This is among efforts by the government to create a conducive environment for workers. Let's get more from CGTN.
Government says the salary adjustments fulfill a promise it made to stagger increases for hard-pressed employees after a 25% increment in April. However, civil servants and some analysts believe it's not enough.
Although it's not enough, but I believe it's a good step forward, given that the majority of our civil servants were now being classified as the working poor, where they are working, but what they are earning doesn't even suffice for them to earn equal to the poverty bottom line.
Civil servants are also unhappy that this was a unilateral decision by the government, which was not driven by the collective bargaining exercise that would have ensured that the employees' demands were also put on the table. One of them is to be paid in US dollars. School teacher Munyaradzi Masiwa has been grappling to make ends meet since the reintroduction of the greenback as legal tender.
The only thing that will change our lives is a restoration of our US dollar salaries. The economy of Zimbabwe is now in US dollars. Everything you want to buy, you are asked to pay in US dollars. We are earning an equivalent of around 280 US dollars right now, and our demand is 540 US dollars, and you can see the difference.
Treasury says it's unable to meet the demand despite posting budget surpluses.
So if you have a surplus, that means you can pay. You have extra money that you can pay. And if you're working, the majority of the people that are working for you in poverty, and you are claiming that you have a surplus, that means you have the resources to pay them.
Labour unions say they will keep pressing their demands, and some, representing teachers, have warned that their members may not return to work when schools resume after the current COVID-19 induced closure.
Well, that's it for Business Briefs at this hour. My name is Kelvin Nyakundi.
Business doesn't wait. Why should you? Get updated with the latest business news on the go. It's simple. SMS the word news to 20146 and receive breaking news on the go. What are you waiting for? SMS news to 20146 now.
My name is Shiko Kimani. I am the proprietor for Paprigano Restaurant and Pub in Nakuru Milimani. I started this restaurant in 2008. Paprigano, the name, is actually a combination of paprika and oregano. Paprigano is, I would call it a system that allows you as an entrepreneur to load all your transactions. It helps you monitor your cash flows. You are actually able to pull out a profit and loss statement from the system. You can also pull out your LPOs from the system. The better part of it is the banks are able to access your daily routine, your inflows, your outflows, like that. And so when the banks do that, then they actually don't need so much documentation when you want a facility.